seeing this, even if you haven't been following it, I mean, it pops up everywhere. So Kanye's been sharing like text messages on Instagram and text message conversations and all. He bought a house across the street. Just a whole bunch of stuff that people may deem inappropriate or going too far. Some people say he has mental health issues, so on and so forth, right? But in light of Kanye's situation, how far is too far when trying to, maintain your nuclear family or win or gain your spouse back? How far is too far? And looking at that situation, I mean, all opinions are probably valid. Adrian, what you think?
I think, I think how far is too far. I think once you just get to the point to where like safety is an issue, probably I would say like you're definitely like wilding, whether that's affecting, and especially if you got kids. So like whether that's just the kids' well-being, like how it's affecting them. But me like personally for myself, too far is like I will never beg nobody to stay with me ever again. So it's like if I'm in a relationship and she's like, I don't want to be with you no more, I'm gonna say cool. Like I'm gonna make it known, like, are you sure I want to be with you? You don't want to do anything else? And if they're like, nah, I want my space, all right, bet. You're not getting no more out of me. I think everybody should be like that. But I
Did you
think
say ever again?
yeah, like I'm not gonna pursue you now. If you come back to me
No,
and you're like,
Stole
my
him
bad.
out. Stole him out. D.
oh,
Don't hear
Nah, I
me,
ain't
bro.
throwing shit out.
hey,
Are you saying ever again, meaning you used to be that person? Because you
oh
said
yeah,
ever
yeah. I
again.
was with my with my
Okay.
with my last marriage, yo. For like the
Uh-huh.
last like year and a half, I was like, yo, like no, like even my pastor told me I should have left, yo. He was like, yo, why would you want to be with somebody who don't want to be with you? And I still kept trying to like hold on, and then it wasn't until I finally like moved out. Like we had a chance at reconciliation, but it was because I finally walked away. You know
Uh-huh.
what I'm saying? And so now I'm just saying, going forward, I'm not chasing nobody. I will be clear with my intentions. I'll be clear on what I want. But as soon as you like, yeah, this not gonna work, or you want to walk away, I'm gonna say, okay. Like, okay, I'm never begging nobody to be with me or stay with me again. And that may be a little bit of trauma and unhealing, whatever you want to call it. I just know I'm not doing it. So
Okay. Okay. Alex, what you think?
Mm. Well, first and foremost, Kanye is giving me murder suicide vibes. If I can't have you, no one will. And I hate that people are sitting up here laughing and retweeting this foolishness because it's something wrong. And I think the point of too far is when that individual, it's clear that they do not want you. It's dangerous. She does not want him. She has moved on, whether it's just I'm with this person to kind of like get me over that hump. But there comes a point where you have to, well, let me say this. You have to be in that mind space of maturity to understand and accept that someone, or you be able to comprehend that someone does not want you like that. Because then when you're pushing something that that individual doesn't want, then it becomes a toxic situation. It becomes dangerous. And that's when you have those situations where people are stalking, they're looking up on this, and I don't care. I know you with him, but it's me that you really want. Like, it's too much. And then you end up, the other individual ends up looking stupid. That's not romantic. That is not something that there's no winning someone back. When they don't want you, they don't want you. And you have to just accept that.
Is he? Is what? Is it him or is it her? What do you think?
It's him.
But this is her what? Fourth failed marriage?
It's not the fourth.
Third?
Yes.
So, but it's him though.
I think in this, I think, in my opinion,
rethink it.
no,
Let
no,
me go.
no, no, no,
Here's what I'm
no,
gonna do.
no,
Here's what I'm
no.
gonna do. I
I'm gonna
got you.
say it.
You my
In
nigga.
my opinion,
Okay.
with this whole Kanye and Kim thing, it stopped being about her when he wanted to make all these crazy antics. That's when it stopped being about her.
When he did what?
When he began to take it to a level where we can no longer be amicable and you're choosing to go to all of these different extremes, that's when any blame that I may have thought or had on Kim, it's now on Kanye. Because anything that may have happened in the past, everything is being overshadowed by his foolishness.
So, Sean, you can answer. I just want to kind of. So, Alex, now, if she built her fame and fortune off of having a sex tape and then having a show about her life, she all of a sudden offended that he airing a life in public when that's how she got to where she is in the first place?
I'm not saying that.
Okay, well, I'm just asking. But
I'm not saying
Sean,
Yep.
in light of the situation, feel free. I ain't even gonna respond whatever the hell you want to respond to. Go ahead.
Well, I think it's difficult for us to understand what type of measures are extreme for someone who has the access and the luxury and the liberty and the money to literally do whatever he wants and not be disturbed by it, right? And he's made his mind up to say, I'm chasing her to the ends of the earth, it's sexy and romantic when it's in a way that a woman may teeter along until she decides yes. But how do we gauge what's extreme for Kanye West? How do we say no, he's doing too much? We can't. We can't fathom what that would look like if we're in the same position. If we're in the same position and somebody say, yo, I don't want you no more. Like I don't have to worry about going to work and being sick and not having like I could do whatever I want to do. If he feel like that's his wife, he want to make sure he work it out with his wife and will exhaust any measure to do so outside of, like Adrian said, safety precautions. Let that nigga chase her. I mean,
kids involved now.
huh?
Like there's I think my feelings would be different if there weren't kids involved, right? There are children involved.
But we don't know the measure of how the kids are involved.
You'll have 4 humans. And
we don't know. But we don't know the conversation. We don't know the conversation. We don't know the conversation.
No. To
Alex,
the world,
hold
we're
on.
talking about the perception that is given. That's what we're focusing on because that's all that we know. To the perception of the world, you have 4 kids, right? Everyone knows that. And when it comes to your children, you're not just going ahead and just speaking on Kim. You're also going ahead and you're involving your issues with your parenting. Everyone, the rest of the world is not your parenting advice gurus. It does not make any sense. You're sitting like, let me know.
It doesn't make any sense to
Kanye,
you.
I cannot stand Kanye. I'm sorry. So maybe I'm being biased. Maybe I'm being biased.
Well, because we like to involve ourselves in how we would deal with things if we're put in that scenario, right? But we can't fathom how Kanye receives his relationship or what no means to Kanye. We don't know what that looks like. And it looks one-sided because he looks crazy. But I mean, it's nothing for her to put out a restraining order and make that public, right? That's
Do you
nothing.
think Kanye would listen to a restraining order? Do you think he's in his right mind?
Do I think that if she put out a restraining order that the LAPD or the California police state troopers would enforce that? Yes, I do. So if that was the case and she was that concerned or worried, then there would be a restraining order, but that's not reality. So we don't know exactly what's going on the other end.
Do you think
all we know is that we think Kanye's doing too much, but doing too much to a billionaire who can do whatever he want to do, we can't fathom that type of we don't know what that looks like.
He bought the house across the street, right?
Yeah. I mean,
too much.
If he want his wife back and she ain't divorced, they're not divorced. Ain't no divorce hearings. We heard about Dr. Dre divorce. They was all in the paper.
So with that, she did come out publicly and release a statement and said, this is the 3rd or 4th lawyer that you've had in a year. I'm ready for you to sign these papers. And he's not doing it. So what is your response to that? He's not trying to give her this divorce.
You can get a divorce by default. If you file and somebody served and they don't respond and they don't respond and they don't respond, you can't just stay married forever. You can get divorced by default. Wherever the California laws are, I don't know. But she ain't obviously pushing the enforcement on it anyway.
So again, I'm asking you, do you think that he's in his right frame of mind? Forget if, let's say it's not even Kim. Let's say they're not even famous. It's regular people. Do you think that's appropriate to do and behave like that?
Well, see, I think you have to, the two aren't mutually exclusive because for real, because if you say regular people, he got to go to work in the morning. He got a job. He got to pick his kids up every other weekend to make sure he's employed. Kanye don't have those same concerns. He don't.
So I can answer. I want to make sure I get Q and Slim in here, but I've been on Chesapeake Street, Southeast DC by myself to get my daughter, and whoever was on the step was gonna have to do whatever they was gonna have to do because somebody didn't invite me somewhere. So I don't know. I've been in that situation before where I really had to turn it up or be willing to take it wherever it's gonna go. Like when he showed up at the birthday party, I didn't think that was outlandish.
It
Because I've
wasn't.
been in this situation
We
where,
also
you
a
know what I
little
mean?
bugged out though.
That's his house.
Well, true too. So
That's his house.
maybe I you know, I'll be bugging sometimes, so I want to acknowledge that.
Good for
So
you.
Poop, what you think?
I think that sometimes when give mixed signals, and I think that it's a thing where people think like they can win the spouse back, or they think that it's romantic. And I think that it's a common saying where people say, well, you need to fight for me, right? We know we've heard women say that at some point, like, well, you didn't fight for me. You didn't try hard enough. And so I think that sometimes men don't know when to do that. Like, oh, well, I'm just going to fight for her back, or when she really just is done. So I think that because that's a common thing, that's a common saying that you hear women say, like, well, you should fight for me. If you really want me, fight for me. And I don't think that Kim is in that space. So I think he's still thinking, well, I could just fight and win her back. And then you also have to know your partner's love language. He's trying to buy this girl. So he still has his hood. He still has his Chicago mentality where I could impress a woman with money. You can't impress a woman who already has experiences with money. You have to show up as a person. So I think in his case, the only opportunity that he did have, I think he's blew it because he's shared just too much. The only real change is changing yourself. Get yourself right? Go take a few minutes, take a time out, get yourself right, and then circle back, because that's all she's looking for. She's at the random pizza shop with Pete. She don't want anything lavish. So you showing up with roses ain't gonna do the trick. You buying a house is not gonna do the trick. So it just goes to show that he doesn't know the woman that he's married to. She wants normalcy. So, you know, I think that sometimes it's just mixed signals. Is he doing too much? Sure. But the whole going back to you saying like, oh, well, she's had so many marriages. Like, she was married once at 17. That doesn't really count. And then she was married for 2 weeks. She was married for 2 weeks. So this is the only time where she had a real sincere marriage, right? Was this is her marriage. So to try to say, well, she doesn't deserve, or it's probably her, is something wrong with her based on those 2 previous incidents is kind of silly, because we know that celebrities treat marriage just like regular relationships.
I don't know that. I know that you have to take steps to get married, and I would still qualify those as her being divorced 3 times.
It's not that she hasn't been divorced 3 times, but it's you being married for 2 weeks is not the same thing.
Is she 0-3?
Yes.
3.
But what does that
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here.
Hey, Poop, stop sipping that water like it's beer. Nigga, just drink it.
I'm on a diet. I'm on a diet.
Yeah, but you
killing me with that water.
Yo, Sean, she hates that water, bro.
I do.
Yeah, she only wanted to drink
I want
it.
I want it to be bourbon so bad, but you know I'm on a better path.
Well, I got you. I'm drinking some Japanese whiskey. All right, Q. Please bring me some logic into this motherfucker, please.
Okay. First of all, we talking about Kanye West, right?
Uh-huh.
Kanye. So right there, like, my expectations of anything with him as far as relationships is like way down here. Because it's like, this is the same guy that got on national TV and just blurted out the most outlandish shit that people may or may not have been thinking. But it's like, Kanye gonna say it. We're talking Mr. No Filter. And then he gets into a relationship with Kim. Now, we know that whole family, like, come on, son. Look, Lamar Odom, Bruce done turned into a whole woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, if you look at the pedigree alone, we cannot rule out that maybe there were things that Kim said and did that kind of drew an already off nigga to a point where there's no return. So, like, I can't. Oh my God! So let me articulate this properly. I think that taking it too far, to Sean's point, kind of has to do with your personality. So there could be something that Alex does that if Slim did it, it would be considered minor. But the other way around, then it's like, oh, you took that shit too far. Because again, it may not speak to your personality. So I think we're dealing with Kanye. I think Kanye still has a way to go before it's like, okay, the nigga took the shit too far. I don't even think he's there yet. But I think that he also, there has to be a victim involved. So almost to Adrian's point, when it gets to the point where there's an actual victim involved, now it's gone way too far. And I don't really see that. I mean, from where I'm sitting, I don't really see that there's a true victim involved. I do see where things are very unfortunate, but I almost want to give Kim an equal amount of accountability with all of it. Because nothing, like Hamp is saying, 3-0, nothing about that whole family says marriage material and that the women are good and the men are all fucked up. Like, no, I'm sorry, I don't buy it at all. So, yeah, like just keep Kanye prayed up and lifted up in prayer and everything. But he going through how he going through. And to what Slim was saying, we don't know what them bedroom conversations was like. Like, if we ever have an issue, I want you to fight. Like, even if you have to buy a house across the street, I want to know that you love me. We don't know if she said that shit to him. And now it's all playing out in the media, and she a whole narcissist. You know what I'm saying? Straight up gaslighting and doing all that other shit that people be doing. Because a lot of the times, a person who is actually crazy will make the other person look like the crazy one publicly. So we can't rule any of that out.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn. No, that's really. So, is there such thing as too far? Like Adrian said, if violence ensues,
you start losing yourself.
so when you start losing yourself, that's too far. So I guess Q's right then with Kanye then, right? He ain't even there yet.
Okay, so I have a question for the therapist on the panel, Adrian.
Oh shit.
Do you think, and maybe it is just me because I've seen things in my own personal experience with people I know, do you think that Kanye, because remember, Kanye has been turned up before there was a Kim Kardashian in his life. You saw when he got the stage when Taylor Swift was on there, like Kanye has been in his own planet forever. However,
since his mom died, right? Since his mom died, I think.
I'm not even going to give him that.
Before that.
Sorry, even before that.
Right, before
I don't
that.
give that pass.
Cool.
But Adrian, as a therapist, do you not think that Kanye is like, he's teetering that line of being inappropriate? Like that something could happen. Maybe it's just me and my thinking, but as a therapist, I want to know.
See, it's hard to say because I feel like them Kardashians is just like the movie Get Out, like them crazy families that just do stuff to
black people with these.
You know what I'm saying? So you have no idea what's going on. Then you have no idea like if it's scripted, because it's just like one of y'all made the point about how she made, I think it was him, she made her whole career off of the sex tape and exposing everything in her life. So she could very well just be knowing how to pull his strings a certain type of way. So she just keep getting all of that publicity, stay out there. Like it could be a whole different like game plan around it. That's why when it comes to like mental health and stuff like that, I never like to assume without really sitting down with somebody and talking to them and exploring, different things. So I think it could be, but I think it's just so much that we don't know. Is hard to really say. Like I even think about the stuff that would go on with like Hollywood and like Dave Chappelle, right? Like how they had to get away because like they really will have you thinking that you're crazy. And so I think some of that could be going on now too. So I get both sides. I get how, from the outside looking in, how you could say, oh yeah, like his boundaries and, just things like that. There's definitely something there. But without having more of a clearer picture is really hard to say.
So Adrian, another question for you. Is it possible in the end that Kanye could be the victim?
Definitely. I definitely think he's the victim. Even if it's on some stuff that now I don't think the whole world would see it that way. But right, I think Q was talking about like gaslighting. Like if you know somebody's strengths and weaknesses, and so you're intentionally like digging at that space, or manipulating them to do a certain thing, yeah, that person could be a victim, and we'll just say, well, he's an adult, so like he should know better. So he could definitely be the victim, and we wouldn't even know. Like they'll paint the story how they want to paint the story, right? It's a reason why we are only exposed to the things that we are exposed to, and a lot of it is not real. It's manufactured to keep us distracted from whatever agenda somebody trying to push. So that's how I look at it.
Poop question. Do you think, and that just popped in my head, do you think that it's him trying to keep like his family together with the kids and all that? Or do you think he was really gaslit by the fact that she already dating somebody else a week, from what we can see so soon? Because I feel like men really get pushed over the edge with shit like that. Well, what do you think?
Yeah, men don't like. He was out there doing whatever because he had a few. He was on like girl 3. Men are always gonna turn up soon as they see you with somebody else. The first date is always gonna be the worst.
And he's
especially I mean that right, and then it's an ego thing, right? Because Pete's a cornball. Yeah. So like if you're yay and then you got your wife with this guy, it's an ego thing. It has nothing else to do. He don't even want her back. To be honest with you, it's an ego thing. You can't have your wife who's bad mess with somebody that you deem less than. That's a blow to an ego that a lot of men have a hard time recovering from.
Okay. And who's Pete? He's an actor though, right?
Yeah, he's like on SNL. He's a comedian and whatever. But like, I don't know. I also think that it's weird that everybody makes the comment of, oh, well, Kim Kardashian she's nobody and she just got humped on, when like, y'all got to stop that. Like, she didn't build a whole empire. Like, that's not just something that you can just do, because there's girls in y'all little male group chat that got the same kind of video on somebody's iPhone 10 that's not making money, that hasn't turned it into an empire. So that's not, let's just stop saying that. That's just weird.
No, like, I'm not championing being whoring is a way to get on.
You can't say champion being a whore, because it wasn't that. I mean, because that video, there's plenty of videos on all kinds of websites. If that's all you have to do to become that, then everybody should have money now, right?
Well, I mean, you know what else? They used her to replace black women because she was slightly curvaceous. She had a hue to her skin, so they could use her, but she had the flowing hair and she's still a white girl. So I know how they leveraged her. But yeah, she was getting fucked on camera, and that's how she got on.
But she's not the only one that's on camera, is what I'm saying. There's plenty of other women that are on camera that haven't turned it. That wasn't the only thing that so she made
lemonade out of her lemons. That's
it was Ray, right. But it was also
so
Ray
you're
J.
telling me the marketing genius that their family have constructed, right? Let's take Kardashians out of it, but just the marketing piece. That is not genius.
No,
not you. That taking the sex tape out of it.
She got more money
out of it. It's still marketing.
So what about these facts? These matter.
I don't.
So Paris Hilton being in her life, right, for whatever reason. Her father, wasn't he friends with OJ or some shit like that?
He was his lawyer.
She already had money.
They already had some money. So she didn't really build, like Donald Trump said, his dad loaned him $1 million. That's it. That's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Especially in the 60s.
But you can't, I just think that you can't keep saying Ray J put her on and made her into this empire. Like that. Come on, man. There's a lot of people on film.
He put her on. He did put her on. Now, did she build off it? I guess, but he definitely put her on.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's
I have to agree with you both. I have to agree with you both. I think to what Hamp is saying, like, he put her on, she got on through a sex tape, and to what you're saying, Slim, she then knew how to capitalize on that, which a lot of women who are in the same situation
have to respect the business structure, whatever
on that business side. On the business side of the game, people definitely got to give her a little bit more props than what they do. So I agree with you there, because that is some genius shit.
Yeah. I don't care if you agree with how she did it or not. I mean, it's still.
I'm just so tired of.
Baby mothers ain't do it.
You got more money than I'll ever have. So I mean, listen. She did
We
something
go
right.
we go to the gym, right? Soon as a white boy dunk the ball, everybody go crazy. We doing dunks and we doing 360s. White boy dunk, it's everybody cheering and applauding. You ever see the video with the white teacher that was pop blocking? It just came out. It got like 1 million views for what? We been pop. You ain't never seen breaking? But it's like we overemphasize when white people do these things that are regular as hell. And this continues to happen. So I guess you're right. But I'm not applauding it. I've seen it happen too many times. And she had a little ass on her, so now she's something special. Like, I don't know, it throws me off. What you think, Q? I seen you nod. That mean you agree with me. So go expound on my point if you don't mind.
Amp, do you think that she is over sexualized? Yeah, no, I definitely see your perspective. It's like to some other point, it's like how many black women do you know have the same background that she had and the same momager type situation to where they could do it the way that she did it? So it's like, yeah, there are black women with bodies. Yes, there are black women who have gotten on sex tapes, but they may not have that foundation to be like, oh, word, everybody's talking about you now through Ray J. Take that and run with it. Let's remind them whose daughter you are. You get what I'm saying? Like, let's make a reality show out of it. There were so many things that came after that. And I just don't think that there's an average black girl with a similar situation that would have done or thought to do the same thing, or maybe had the same resources as Kim. So I do get your point though.
Okay.
But she had this show before Ray J. That's the thing. Like, it's just weird. Like, she already had this show before Ray J.
She had Keeping Up with the Kardashians before Ray J?
Yes.
And then nobody gave a fuck until after Ray J.
No, it was already on.
What kind of what Ham was saying?
It
like
was already on.
But nobody was
you can't just get a show, so you could just sign up and get a show. Like, no.
I mean, but there's catapults.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Listen, man, it's 10 o'clock. Snowfall's coming on at